Hi everyone, so I am here again with another question from IB exams. This question has been asked in one of the most recent IB exams. This looks a little complicated because it's a combination of so many concepts together, but if we break it down in shorter steps, it really makes very good sense to everybody. So let us go through the statement first. It says that a sequence of 10 rectangular picture frames F1, F2 up to F10. So those picture frames have been named as F1, F2 up to F10. You have maximum 10 frames. You're also given the width and the height of the first picture frame, which is 4 centimeter and 5 centimeter respectively. The width and the height of the picture frame Fn are each increased by 50% to generate the width and the height of the next picture frame. So this sets up a recursive rule. It says that every subsequent picture frame will have 50% more height and width than the previous picture frame. This question says that you need to establish a formula for the nth picture frame, and the formula has to be in this form. We need to prove it. And the second question is about the mean area of the 10 picture frame. So let's get started with the first part. It says the area of the picture frame. So we know that area of a rectangular picture frame would be obviously a product of height and width. So in order to get to the area formula for nth picture frame, we first need to have an expression for the nth picture frame width and the nth picture frame's height. Okay, so what we will do is firstly we will think about the width of the nth picture frame. So abbreviation for the picture frame is PF. Okay, all right. If you remember this concept, if you ever can relate the concept of amount, so if you remember this formula, like in usually in the questions for the amount, they give you a principal amount, and then they say that that amount keeps on getting compounded each and every year by a certain rate of interest. And the similar thing is happening here. They are giving you an initial width, and they are saying that each and every subsequent frame will have a width of 50% more than whatever it was before. So the rate of interest in those questions would be 50% here. Okay, so here how we will set it up: your width is going to be 4, which is the initial picture frames width, and then it keeps on increasing every time by 50%. 50%, if you change it to uh, decimals, this would be 50 over 100. And if you simplify this, this is going to be 1 by 2. So I'm going to take the rate as 1 by 2. And now the question is the exponent. Okay, so be very careful here. Although it looks like you are going to be compounding the rate in times because you are counting the width of nth picture frame, but remember that first picture frame doesn't have a recursive rule. It has a fixed width. So after second, I mean after first, from second onwards, second picture frame onwards, width will keep on increasing. So the exponent here will not be n. This would be n minus 1, because for the nth picture frame, the width will be compounded in minus 1 times, not n times. Okay, and then you can simplify this. This is going to be 1 plus 1 by 2. If you add them up, it's going to be 1.5, or you can also write in the fractional form. I'm using fractions because here I need my answer in the fraction, so I'm going to keep it like 3 by 2 raised to power n minus 1. And similarly, you can establish a rule for the height of nth picture frame. Okay, the initial height was 5, so same way, exactly with the same explanation. The exponent here is also going to be n minus 1, and when you simplify this, this is going to be 5 into 3 over 2 raised to power n minus 1. So now, since I have the width and the height of the nth picture frame, let us go back to my question. The question says you just have to find the area of the nth picture frame. I have the height, I have the width. So what would I do? I will simply multiply the height and width to get the area of nth picture frame. Okay, so 4 times 3 over 2 raised to power n minus 1, and that should be multiplied by 5 times 3 over 2 raised to power n minus 1. These two constants, they don't have any exponents, so you can mutually multiply them. That gives you 20 here. So you will see the formula is coming through. You already have 20 here, and then these two expressions, 3 over 2 raised to power n minus 1 into 3 over 2 raised to power n minus 1. Now, you have a rule which says whenever the bases are same, you can add up the exponents. So, to merge them together, what I can do is I can add up the exponents. Okay, so n minus 1 plus n minus 1, when you add them, that should be 2n minus 2. Okay, so we still haven't gotten the exact expression. We still need to simplify this. What I can see is here I have 2n minus 2, and the question here wants us to have the exponent as n minus 1. So if I have to get there, I'll have to get rid of this 2 and 2, which means I can factor it out of this expression. So 20 and then 3 over 2, you factor it out, 2 times n minus 1. Okay, now break down the double exponent. You will have 3 over 2 raised to power 2, and the whole exponent is going to be n minus 1. Okay, and then 20 times 3 over 2 whole square would be 9 over 4 raised to power n minus 1, and that gets you the area of the nth picture frame. All right. In the second part, it says find the mean area of the 10 picture frames, giving your answer in this format. They have already given you the format. All you have to do is to find the values of P and A. You have to specifically mention the values of P and A, where P has to be Q plus. This little Q plus sign means P has to be a positive rational number and a would be a positive integer here. Okay, so what we have to do is to find the mean area of the 10 picture frames. So if you call the formula to find the mean, we already have the area of the nth picture frame, but now you have to find the mean. So how do we find the mean basically? This is the second sub part of A part. You have to find the mean. Usually, what we do, we add up the terms, sum of observations, and you divide it with the number of observations, right? So, what are the observations here? Because you are finding the mean area, so all areas are going to be your observations. Okay, do not confuse it with the values f1, f2, f3. Those are not your areas. Sorry, your question is asking you to find the mean of areas, not the mean of the picture frames. Okay, so you have to find the mean of the areas. So the function that you are going to consider is nth area, area of the nth picture frame. Okay, so this would be sum of all the observations. So this is my AN. I would address it as AN because AN stands for the area of the nth picture frame. Sum of observations means this would be A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 up to so on. Okay, up to A10. How many observations would you have? Because you have 10 picture frames, so you will have 10 different areas for those 10 picture frames. Okay, let me scroll down. All right, Okay, so here, just to make the things easy, I'm going to put 1 by 10 aside. And for all these observations which are in addition, I will use summation notation. How many observations do I have? Starting from 1 to 10. So n would be 1 to 10. Um, First area would be 20, and then 9 over 4 raised to power n minus 1. Okay. All right. I just have to simplify this now. Okay. As you know, if you have a constant inside the summation sign, you can always pull it out. So I'm going to factor it out. I am going to pull it out, put it here so that I can simplify it with 1 by 10. So 20 times 1 by 10, and then the rest of the things remain inside and is waiting from 1 to 10, and then 9 over 4 raised to power n minus 1. Okay. Just simplify this 21 by 10, which gives you 2 here. Side, what do you have? It's geometric sequence, because if you think of it as a series, if you think of it as n is equal to 1, you will get the first term as 1. The second term would be 9 by 4 raised to power 1. The third term would be 9 by 4 raised to power 2. And then if you plug in 3, you will get a 2. And when you plug in 4, you will get 9 by 4 raised to power 3. So this is a geometric sequence which keeps on increasing by a factor of 9 by 4. So your common ratio is going to be 9 over 4 here. Okay. So, since my common ratio is 9 by 4, and if you remember the formula for sum of n terms of a geometric sequence, the sum of n terms is a into r raised to power n minus 1 over r minus 1. Your question is, why did I use r raised to power n minus 1? Why I didn't use 1 minus r raised to power n over 1 minus r? So you're free to answer this question in the comments box, and I will proceed further. So 2 into what's my first term in the geometric sequence? It's 1. So 2 times 1 times r raised to power n. What's my r here? It's 9 over 4. Because the series is increasing by a ratio of 9 by 4 every time you multiply 9 by 4 in the previous term to get the next term. So 9 over 4 raised to power n minus 1 divided by 9 by 4 minus 1. So you have 2 still standing here. 2 times 1 is just 1. Okay. And then inside you have 9 over 4 raised to power n minus 1 there. And the denominator, if you do 9 by 4 minus 1, you will get 5 over 4. And the lower fraction, it flips upside down and gets multiplied with 2. So 2 times 4 over 5, because the lower fraction, you always flip it upside down and multiply with the upper part of the fraction. So 2 times 4 over 5, and then 9 over 4 raised to power n minus 1. That gives you 8 over 5 into, oh, one moment. How many terms do we have here? I forgot to specify the n value. So, how many terms do we have here? N minus 1 over r minus 1. How many terms would I have here? 10. So, this is going to be 10, 10, and 10. Okay. All right. So, 9 over 4 raised to power 10 minus 1. This is the expression for the mean of the 10 areas of different 10 picture frames. So, answering this question, you see our answer is exactly in this format. For P, we have 8 over 5, and for A value, we have 10. Okay. Right. So we have area of the nth term. Sorry, mean of the n areas where in the form of P into whatever format they were asking for. They wanted you to answer the question in the form of P into 9 over 4 raised to power A minus 1. If you compare these two answers, what's your P value? P value would be 8 over 5. And what's your A value? A value would be 10. Okay, and you can see this number belongs to all the positive. I mean, this is a positive rational number, so this belongs to Q plus, and this is belongs to Z plus because it's a positive integer. All right. All right, let's go to the second part of this question. This question wants you to find the median area. Again, look at the question carefully because many students get confused. They don't know they are going to find the median of the nth frame, uh, width or height or whatever. But here it says clearly it's the median area of the 10 picture frames, giving your answer in this format. Okay, so now your answer has to look in this format where Q has to be, I mean, this number standing in front of 9 by 4 has to be a positive rational number. Okay. So if you recall the concept of the median, how do we usually find the median? So median is basically the central number after arranging all the observations into either ascending or descending order. Okay, so here your observations are A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, and A10. And you won't have to worry about arranging them in ascending or descending order because the areas are continuously increasing because every width and height is increasing by 50% in the previous one. So obviously this is an increasing order of the terms. You just have to pick up the central term. The central term, how would you pick them up? Leaving same number of terms from the front and from the last. So same number of terms, you are leaving four terms from the back, from the front, and four terms from the back, and you have two terms in the middle. Okay, how do you find the median? I mean, if you have only one term, then that specific term would stand for the median. But here you don't have single term, you have two terms. So in this case, how would you find the median? Your median would be the sum of A5 and A6, and that should be divided by 2. Okay, now we have the expression for an. You remember our an was 20 into 9 over 4 raised to power n minus 1. Okay, let me go up to show you. Okay, so this is where we found the expression for the nth area. We are going to use this to get the expression for A5 and A6. So for A5, I will replace the n with 5. Your A5 would be 20 times 9 over 4 raised to power 5 minus 1. So the exponent would be 4. And for A6, it would be 9 over 4 raised to power 5 divided by 2. Now I have these two components in the numerator. You can factor it out. You can factor out 20 because 20 is present in both the components. And 9 over 4 has got 4 copies here, 5 copies here. So you can always factor out the minimum number of copies, which is 4. And this 2, you can also move it outside. What I will be left with inside. So in this whole expression, out of the numerator, 20s have been pulled out. 4 copies here, 5 copies here, because we always factor out the smaller number of copies. Out of 4 and 5, the smaller number is 4. So I have factored out the 9 over 4 raised to power 4. And for the denominator, I have also factored out the number 2. Okay, so now what I am left with here, out of this whole part, I am left with just 1 plus here 20 has already been factored out, 9 by 4. 4 copies have been moved out, and I am still left with 1 copy here, so 9 over 4. and the whole denominator 2 that already moved out here. Okay. Um, let us simplify it a bit, and that will give you the final answer. 20 over 2 would be just 10. I'm not going to simplify 9 over 4 is to power 4 because this is a requirement of your answer. So I'm not going to break it down. And if you add up 1 plus 9 by 4, making the denominator same, you multiply with 4 in the top and bottom. That gives you 4 plus 9, 13 divided by 4. Okay, now 10 and 13 by 4, their exponent is 1. You can simply multiply them and keep 9 by 4 raised to power 4 as it is. Okay, so when you simplify, you can see you can cancel them, or you can also use your calculator to simplify. So this gives you 65 over 2, 9 by 4 raised to power 4. If you go back to the question, let us go back to the question. The question says find the median area of the picture frames, giving your answer in this format. So your question um, says the format has to be 9 over 4 raised to power 4. That is one reason why I was not simplifying this part. I was trying to figure out only the q, the rational number that stands beside it. So I just simplified the things that were around 9 by 4 raised to power 4. So we can scroll down. Here the q value for the median is going to be 65 by 2. So this is your q value. Your median is 65 by 2, 9 over 4 raised to power 4, and this stands for your q value. Okay, that was about it.